3, 2, 1. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. It's going to be SKO versus Conquering Sands Gaming. And right now, SKO has chosen the blue side.
Yeah, excited to see both of these teams come out tonight. Two new teams for me this time around, and we see in the bans already Darius taken out early. This is a big pick for JBear555 on the side of CSG. So glad to see it off the table this early on.
Yeah, 180 games already this season. That's absolutely wild to me.
Yeah, that is a lot of presence, and I think multiple hundreds of games in the previous season as well. Yeah, over 600. So definitely their most comfortable pick by far. But it is a player who definitely does have other options up their sleeve as well.
So right now we're going to be seeing a Sejuani ban. Honestly, very good also with the Maokai ban, getting some of these tanky junglers out of this game. Obviously, Sejuani can be flex top, but it's kind of been very unlikely in Season 13 so far.
Yeah, and Aurelia taken off the table as well. That is Shiburo's most played both this season and last season. Last season with almost 300 games on that champion. So getting close to the presence of the Darius there. And Cassante, another one of the more targeted bans. But Caitlyn is going to be picked as our first B1 here.
So Caitlyn right now for this season has been a very good early safe option who's also a lane bully in the bot lane. So Caitlyn is a really good priority pickup for SKO. It kind of really forces SCG to kind of have to unfold their hand and show either what their bot lane is or what some of their more flex options are going to be. So right now we're going to have a Jhin response to this Caitlyn. Yeah, Jhin Karma, good combo in the bot lane here. Able to poke out, able to and kind of withstand some of the damage coming out from the Caitlyn and kind of the Caitlyn poke here. So this is going to be a good pickup for SCG.
Yeah, matching some of the range, Karma, one of those champions that can offer a lot of early pressure in that bot lane. Jhin with follow-up, catch, and burst. So not a bad choice there. We'll see what ends up getting paired for this bot lane. I expect probably a support is going to be picked. And yeah, Ashe support, it's going to be 4 range characters down here going at it.
So Ashe, obviously very, very good this season. You have just a lot of vision options with her, so just making her quite strong. However, in the early laning stages, she's going to be struggling a little bit against Karma. Karma's able to kind of dish a fair bit of damage and also shield that damage, while Ashe can only really dish that damage. So we're going to be getting a Azir pickup. I don't get to see Azir often enough, and you definitely start seeing it a lot more in the high-end gameplay, and I'm excited to see some possible massive Shurima shuffles here.
Yeah, up at these more advanced levels of play, it certainly can be a very powerful champion. I mean, we've seen Azir Victor get handshake so much in pro play. In this case, it is just going to be a jungler potentially picked up for Red 3, so not going to reveal that mid lane pick just yet. J4 locked in, powerful early ganking pressure here.
So J4, very, very good at setting this early tempo, kind of going for either objectives or recognizing kind of weak lanes in the early games can really go into mid quite easily with the standard dash, and I'm going to be excited to see what kind of early game plays he's going to be making here.
Yeah, we see as the bans start coming out on this second half, Elise is taken off the table. So another one of these premier early game junglers we've been seeing more of lately. And Victor is going to be locked in as the ban. So no Azir Victor handshake coming out this time around. Syndra also off the table. So we're going to see what CSG's response is going to be.
I think, honestly, right now, Aesol could possibly be very good here on the front line. Okay, they're going to be going with Caston. They definitely want some of these people with dashes, so that's going to be very effective for them.
Yeah, Casta, another one of these champions that we've started to see more and more of lately, with the Seraph's changes coming on through, giving that additional shield and the Roa scaling as well, has made it a pretty potent mid lane pick lately, and into 3 fairly squishy mobile characters can get a lot of work done. Ornn looking to be the blind top lane pick for SKO here, fairly safe, good all-around utility, always like to see it.
Okay, so I'm kind of curious. Does Azir autos with the Sand Soldiers, is that magical damage or is that AD? I believe that's magical, correct?
Yes, it should be.
Okay, so Cassidy might be able to weather the storm pretty effectively against the Azir, despite the ranged melee matchup difference.
Yeah, I mean we've seen some champions like even the Siluses and the Kali manage to hang on with the Doran Shield and second wind and so on. So should be some hope for this Cassidy here in the mid lane. It looks like a Mumu going to be picked up for the jungler. Two heavy frontliners with good lockdown to supplement the rest of the damage squad.
So right now, looking at SKO, they definitely have a lot of lockdown in the sense of just trying to engage, but then they also have good disengage with both the Shurima Shuffle and the Ornn ultimate. And I think they got a pretty strong lineup. But then we're looking back over at SCG, and you have some immobile people in the on your back line with Ashe and Caitlyn. If Ashe steps up too far, Jarvan can grab her out immediately, so can Kassadin. And I think Sion's going to have a little bit of a rough time trying to run into that team.
It could be.
Sorry, you can go.
Oh yeah. I was saying it could be, but I also like the fact that he has the scaling option available, just able to stack up so much XP here. With the support Ashe and Caitlyn not knowing for being the best tank buster. It's really gonna come down to the Azir here and maybe some Ornn W's, the percent health coming through to be able to get through this tank in the first place.
So right now, looking at both these teams, who do you think has a significant edge in the early game?
I think both teams came out fairly even with draft, in my opinion. The bot lane matchups are two sides that both kind of want to get some of the shell. J4 probably has a little more agency than Mumu in the early game, so I'm going to be keeping an eye on which way he's going to choose to path in this game. I'm expecting maybe something like a top to bot path, or maybe even a bot start into an early game, something along those lines. So we'll see if any of that comes to pass as the game gets started.
I'm also kind of, I think Ornn and Sion are going to kind of, as you mentioned before, do some handshaking here. They're going to be both scaling up. I envision both of them kind of going grasp here and just kind of getting really fast in this game. And they might get to the point that Jhin might not be able to handle an Ornn quite effectively here. You might try to struggle. You might struggle to find Ornn damage to get Ornn here.
That's fair.
If it gets scaled up enough.
Yeah, Jhin and Kassadin both not necessarily known for being the best tank busters either. And Ornn and Mumu are not particularly fragile frontliners. So yeah, certainly with Sion not having much in terms of percent HP outside of his W explosion there, this Forge God might end up being a bit of a real god as we get on later in this game. But we'll have to see how it plays out. So far, it seems like both the top and mid lane matchups are kind of scaly, handshaky sort of matchups. Probably without too much action to come out early on. So my eyes are definitely on the boss as far as early action goes.
All right. Switching over to a commercial. We will be right back. right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be getting into this game. This is going to be a best of 3 between SKO and SCG Gaming. Right now, we're going to be seeing SKO kind of go for a possible invade here. Going to be coming in through the bot lane altogether, and maybe going to be looking for a spicy play against their support, or actually their ADC on the bot side.
Yeah, getting some early vision and control in that bot lane bush, pretty common tactic we see. And with the Mumu level 1 here, it is something that Concrete Sands is going to have to respect. Does get a bit of early vision out, so we'll get some info on the jungle pathing for Avius here.
Right now, I think a lot of this game is going to be coming down to just vision control. Because right now, if Avius and Vel cannot really get onto the backline, they're going to kind of struggle. I mean, the only poke you really have is Karma and Jhin versus kind of the Azir, Caitlyn, and the Ashe. So I think if SKO Kane can really hold down this vision, this is going to possibly a winning condition for the game.
Yeah, and these early bot lane matchups have so much control dedicated upon this. Look at that. Eric Northman forced a flash already early on. This Hail of Blades Ashe paying off dividends here in the early game.
Living by the skin of his teeth there.
Absolutely. And, you know, one thing that draws my attention too is some of these keystone choices we see coming out. Both Caitlyn and Jhin here going for fleet footwork for a bit more sustain in this very pokey double range support matchup here. And Azir and Kassadin actually both opting for the Conqueror. Azir sometimes taking first strike into these melee matchups, and Kassadin usually going fleet footwork for a bit of sustain, but neither of those going to be choices. And here comes the Jarvan Avius here looking for the EQ on the first gank. Unlimited Ninja is going to have a nice unstoppable buffer, flashes out, does manage to survive there, but it is the summoner spell expended.
Right now, Unlimited will have the kind of level advantage, but Jaybear able to get that summoner off him will kind of help bolster Jaybear in the top lane.
Yeah, we do see actually a bit of vertical jungling here coming out as well, with Avius moving onto SKO's blue side, whereas Mumu is going to path up onto Concrete Sands' bottom side. So splitting the map a bit here, maybe there will be some potential for a dive in the bottom lane in some amount of time, or repeat gank up top.
Jaybear getting quite low here. The Brittle proc knocking him out of the Q knock before, really putting in the work on the top side here.
Yeah, both top laners hitting level 3 here though, and Avius wants to find it. It is another unstoppable, but the EQ is not quite going to land. Ornn does get the charge up. All 3 members of this top lane here getting incredibly low. Just one more Jarvan combo is going to spell certain death over for this Ornn. Isn't going to come through, actually flashes for it. Does get the first blood over to Avius.
So the Avius earlier, gank just kind of set it up where then he no longer had the summoner, and Ornn just kind of was getting whittled down, was trying to use a lot of his resources in the top lane, kind of shove it in, get it under tower to get the cheater off, but Avius was able to come right back into it and kind of catch him with his pants down there.
Yeah, Unlimited Ninja was able to get Jaybear very, very low there under the tower, but with J4 and happening the top side of the map there, the repeat gank was going to be a certainty. So Ornn does fall to it, does manage to get the TP and get back into the lane, so doesn't lose all that much outside of the first blood, but it is early advantage going over.
Right now, Shiburai has a lot more mana here.
Yeah, Val definitely having to go and run back towards his tower with all due haste there. Taking a bit of this poke here from the Kassadin. Still keeping up in CS though, so not harassed out too much. Probably is going to have to burn TP to get back over to his lane.
So right now we're definitely seeing SKO and Jinx just absolutely give the business to the spot lane. Eric is getting low, and Hailver's also getting pretty low as well. He's actually he's starting to get a little bit of health back with some of these levels up, but they're both at around 80% HP here.
Yeah, both junglers starting to show up as well. So it is going to be a full 3v3. Avius there is first. Jinx is caught by the EQ, but the Jhin route is not going to be good there. Now all sides are focusing onto Avius. That is Jinx going to get the kill. Now Hey Roger is getting slowed by the Ashe autos, is trying to zoom their way out of there with the 4th try, and the Karma speed up does manage to escape, but that is 1 kill traded back, 1-1 on the scoreboard.
Avius there had to dive in kind of away from his team, and so he's kind of caught out there on a lot of the Caitlyn damage, and so they're able to trade 3 champions damage into 1, so he definitely felt the end of that gun and the end of that barrel there.
Yeah, it seemed that Conquering Sands just wasn't quite expecting Nightmare to show up to that play, but the Mumu was there timely, and J4 found himself a little bit isolated deep in the midst of the enemy team. With Hey Roger's root not landing there, didn't mean that the J4 is going to fall.
So right now it looks like the J4 is looking to be going for this dragon. That's going to be Chemdrake for this, and so that's going to help him out with a little bit of kind of the early skirmishing that he'll want to do.
Yeah, and a lot of these early dragon pickups can provide so much value just for either accelerating a soul win condition or delaying one for the enemy team. But Nightmare does get the root out onto Eric Northman. Kill is going to be picked up by Kane. Hey Roger goes for the flash 4th shot, but there's the barrier coming out from Kane and the flash as well to survive. So SK Nightmare is going to pick up the second one, looking for even more on Avius potentially, but Val is going to start moving down to ward off any further aggression. Well played from Kane, an insane set of summoner baits there to get the turn for the team.
Right there. And Nightmare just being there for the team and just recognizing when their entire side is low. Also the Hawkeye coming in to really see a lot of these people. But now Vel is going to be kind of trying to get some deep vision here, trying to catch out Nightmare possibly. But Nightmare is now going to be kind of having a massive gold lead over the J4 here.
Yeah, it looked like AVS wanted to start the dragon off of the reset timer of SKO's bot lane. We did have one of their laners having to go back to base there, but enough interference was made and enough time stalled for the rest of the team to come out to support. And it was a big advantage going over to SKO as a result.
Right now, Northman getting low again. This is just kind of a same old story here. And in all of these 7 minutes, he's been just getting absolutely chunked out this game. So the side of SKO's bot lane is doing really a really good job of just keeping him low. So then you kind of minimize the impact that Eric can have in this lane.
Yeah, and that's the power of these double ADC bot lanes, just offering so much range and consistent harass. Ash with this Hail of Blades build, especially able to just run down the enemies, and if they space properly, it's very hard to find a response. So able to find some great advantages over to their team. We also see top lane here, Javier getting a bit of an advantage over Unlimited Ninja, and Avius is going to start trying to head up once again. This is going to be the third gank up for this top lane. Call of the Forge God is available, but Unlimited Ninja a bit stuck in a corner here. This is going to be the ultimate coming out, but the EQ interrupts, so no R2 is going to be available. Trying to get the kill over to Javier, does manage to do so. Another pickup here in the top lane.
Right now, Orin just getting caught out consistently over and over because he's trying to just use a lot of his mana to shove it in under tower, but Cyan can kind of hold the wave back, is able to knock it up with the Q, able to slow it down with the E.
Oh, Hey Roger landing those curtain call shots onto Jinx, making it a one-shot, and the final W is good there, picking up the kill, getting some much-needed gold back after getting bullied most of lane, but it is the dragon picked up in the meantime, using that timer to get that first objective.
So now you're looking at top lane here. It's a 20 CS lead there, but then in the bot lane you have a 10 CS lead for the side of SKO. You're kind of seeing a little bit of variance across the map. But right now, the gold is quite even here.
Yeah, dead even, in fact, and both teams have been making plays across the map. AVS saw that the dragon was taken on the bot side, immediately responds with Rift Herald, and this top invade is going to be able to pick up the blue buff. So Conquering Sands is going to get some nice compensation for that first dragon. Oh, Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes across, is able to find Eric Northman again, forcing out the flash here, but the chase is on. Ace in the hole is not quite going to get blocked by Hey Roger. Kill is good. Another one over to Jinx.
Jin trying to get in front of his teammate there, but unable to. And right now we're just kind of seeing the potent just kind of effect that Ashe has in this lane. She's able to just, and it has the vision in the lanes. Ooh, right now we're gonna be good.
Yeah, a fourth gank here up on this top side. Flash coming out of Unlimited Ninja. Their Cataclysm has been invested as well. No Sion ulti to come out, but there's just enough in the tank here. One final Unstoppable is going to be the last breath for this Ornn. A second kill going over to J-Bear donated. This is going to start to spell a nice top lane advantage.
Right now, one of the win conditions that they have on the side of SKO is Ornn scaling, and he's going to start losing some of these levels to J-Bear, and he's not going to be able to get about some of these ornaments at kind of the timers you really want.
Yeah, with some action in the bot lane in the meantime there. Kane getting very, very low, and Hey Roger trying to get some chase on, but now Nightmare actually also getting caught down in the jungle. Eric Northman now on 1 HP, but Kane even lower. It is going to be both the heal and the barrier invested. Jim Root is good. Jim Flash is going forward, but the auto goes on to Jinx as well. AVS picks it up with the flag instead, and now Jinx is trying to trade onto Hey Roger. The net comes through, but the last bit of damage does not. Shiburo, unwilling to let this go, though, is starting to roam down onto the bot side, as is Nightmare. Nightmare is going to look to find Jim, but does not check the corner. Finally finds it with the sweeper. Now AVS is going to be the one under target. The banished toss is good. AVS flashes out to try and find into safety. The shift is going to come out, and Shiburo is able to pick up another kill. Final tower shot does not come through. So a lot of trading going on to this bot lane, but advantage in the end slightly in SKO's favor.
So right now they're able to just kind of get a lot of the momentum that SCG had here going into this. They're going to be kind of throwing it back on the side of SKO. They're going to be scaling up their bot lane, and Caitlyn just getting further and further ahead. She now has a mythic here, and Ashe is going to be really dominating this vision game. Now has the support item completed, so this is going to be kind of a nightmare scenario for the Karma.
Yeah, with the serrated Dirk in the inventory, these Ashe autos are still going to hurt so much with the Hellblade still in that early game phase where Ashe has a lot of prowess. It's going to be Caitlyn Ashe going to the mid lane here trying to find even more tower plates against this low range Caston. See if they are able to pick any of these up. But Avius is here, 2-man Cataclysm, immediate flash away from Kane to stay to safety, and Enchanted Crystal Arrow for the turn, but there is not going to be any more follow-up, just the disengage expended there.
So I think an interesting thing to see is that we have an early and Heartsteel onto Sion. He's getting a lot of these extra health stacks. He's already at 59, and this is just going to keep getting worse and worse because obviously Ornn and Sion just have to keep kind of duking it out against each other, and Sion's going to slowly but surely whittle him out of this game.
Yeah, but here comes the curtain call to initiate another teamfight. Jinx already on crucial HP. The fourth shot is going to go on to Kane. Vel is going to pick up Jinx there. Kane surely to die here. Northman finding the root. A double kill going over to the cast, and Shiburo just doing their best to disengage. It looks like a counterplay might be happening up on the top side, but Rift Herald is going to be dropped mid instead. Nightmare going to look for J-Bear. Find the trade here. There's a 150 gold shutdown available. Is the banished toss going to land? Yes, it does. J-Bear is going to unstoppable, but the ulti is blocked by Ninja, so a nice shutdown going to the Ornn, giving some reprieve here in the top lane, but in the mid lane, the dive continues. Vel picking up a third after that series of play. This Caston suddenly has been accelerated very quickly.
Right now, they're able to get most of the tower plates here in the mid lane, and if they're able to crack open this mid lane, it's going to be opening up most of the map for SCG to kind of rotate for a lot of these objectives versus SKO. Right now, we also have Dragon coming up here quite short, and right now, and because SCG has to back, they might find themselves with their pants down here and unable to contest this Dragon.
Yeah, a bit of an awkward reset timing. Even though the last set of plays was very good, Conquering Sands was left with just over 3,000 gold unspent there after the previous series. So despite their advantage at this point in the game and several teamfights going their way, it is going to be 2 dragons in a row picked up for SKO. So this might be their saving grace here, delaying a possible soul or maybe even aiming for a soul of their own.
Right now in this top lane, you have a Phage coming out from the Scion. He might be going Hullbreaker here, which I think that's going to be quite troublesome for the side of SKO, because that really will kind of push for a 1-4 game plan where SKO really wants to go for 5v5.
Yeah, we mentioned previously where if either of these tanks get too large, it can be very difficult for the opponent team to kill, and this is one very large Scion. This Heartsteel, such a powerful item with the innate health scaling already on the Scion. It's going to make that bonus damage very potent. Already 319 bonus damage on that Heartsteel charged auto at just 14 minutes in the game. So going to make them a powerful presence. We see Avius here on the top side once again. Not something you usually see as much, perhaps playing over towards this tank top, but Scion has been accelerated greatly as a result of it, so it is paying off.
No rest for the wicked for Ninja here. Avius just absolutely just scaring him on all of this vision and all of these ganks early on in the game. So now just really making him tentative here. But now we're going to be fighting for this Shelly here, trying to get out some vision, but kind of the slight gold advantage is going to be helping out the side of SCG.
Yeah, 4 members of both teams collapsing onto this Herald. Nightmare is going to get things started. Does use the Curse of the Sad Mummy onto Eric Northman. Eric Northman is going to go down, but there's the counter engage. Ready from AVS. Cataclysm does go out. Traps 2. Curtain Call on the side as well. Ash is going to pick up the shutdown onto Jarvan. Curtain Call is going to be interrupted by Azir now, and it looks like the fight is going to go over towards SKO. Hey Roger down to 1 HP as well, off a series of excellent team fight plays. Jaybear going to try and chase onto Kane, but is unable to get it. That's going to be the team fight and the Herald going to SKO. A big swing for 3,000 gold difference.
Absolutely. Here, right now, you look at it, a lot, and like, sadly, Shelly 2 does not give as much value as Shelly 1 because Shelly 1 was used to get a lot of turret plates. However, it could crack open this mid lane, and then that would give kind of the lifeblood they were needing objective-wise for SKO, because then they're able to rotate to it much faster. They're able to just kind of hold some of these more future objective points.
Yeah, that previous... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You go.
Yeah, just in that previous team fight, with Eric Northman getting caught out there right up, it's going to make the start of the fight a 4v3 already and set up the success for the rest of it. It does look like Vel is going to try and find it onto Shaburo. One more Rift Walk is going to be enough. No, it's going to be the Gale Force auto, but a clutch heal from Jinx is going to save their mid laner. AVS looking for another engage, but a flash from King and an Enchanted Crystal Arrow to turn the fight is almost going to result in a trade kill, but it looks like instead everyone's just going to walk away miraculously live after all of that.
Wow, heals and flashes galore. Just everyone barely just getting out by the skin of their teeth. Just able to outplay this. That is just well played by everybody. Right now, Vel just quite strong, getting this row at 5 stacks. So he's just kind of dive in there a little bit, not having to pay for most of the consequences, but was eventually getting caught out by the rest of the squad.
Yeah, this cast is certainly in a great spot for this game to start off of. Is going to be accelerating towards the second item. Once that Seraphs is picked up, it's going to enable so much more in terms of both damage and defensive utility. Jaybear actually looking to get a pickup here onto Unlimited Ninja, the turret on just 1 HP, Vel working on the bottom turret in the meantime. So it is going to be both outers very nearly falling here in favor of Conquering Sands, the first one going down.
So right now, Ornn, what item do you think he really needs to go for here? I would personally say that he needs to go for maybe like an Anathema's Chance to kind of deal with some of the damage, or a Jack Show to kind of start giving that mythic passive.
Yeah, Jack Show the more traditional option here, but the dive is going to come out once again. Tower going to be taken down, and the Scion ulti is going to be expended to guarantee the kill pickup there. Dragon in just 30 seconds. So the Conquering Sands are going to have to move fast if they want to contest this one. Hey Roger getting caught out a little bit. That is the shift and the Curse of the Sad Mummy to guarantee the kill there. So any Dragon contest here is going to be a 5v4. Now working on this mid lane inner tower as well. Shelly 2 drop here. This could be a very big push coming out for the side of SKO.
And also, you have to keep in mind, we have Dragon that's going to be coming up. You get the Bash of Shelly coming off. You get the Vision Denial from Kane. And this is just going to be a nightmare scenario for SGG to really walk into this fight. But you have a TP coming in from Casting, coming in from the side. And
Yeah,
this could spell disaster.
Matched by the Ornn as well, so this is going to be a 4v5 if Conquering Sands opts to go in for it. AVS is sprinting in as fast as it can, but it looks like the call is to give it. So that's Soul Point given over to SKO. Those first 2 dragons found off of nice timings are going to be potentially crucial for the outcome of this game. Ocean Soul here is going to be very scary onto the Mumu, onto the Ornn. These are very durable champions that will take a lot of effort for the Conquering Sands members to get through.
The one boon that they do have going for them on the side of SCG is the Ornn is not as big as you'd want him by comparison to the Scion, who now has double item already here under the 20-minute mark. He has that Hullbreaker. Now he's just going to be able to just run directly at that Ornn. Going to be continuously healing from the Phage passive. And that's going to be quite hard for Ornn to really be able to just shove him back on that wave. But now they're going to be rotating towards the top side here, possibly looking for a pickup on Shiburai, and then going into the Baron.
Yeah, no flash available on this Azir, and this collapse is looking very potent already. Shaburo looks like they sense something is wrong. A slide, a glide, it's good, but Karma here has the root. A nice knockback to disengage Avius there, but there are simply too many members. Hey Roger's going to pick up that shutdown.
He's going to be getting a 450 gold shutdown there, but that's not going to be as much as you'd really want to see, but that's probably going to open up a Baron angle here. It's going to be a very quick Baron if they do go for it.
Yeah, Baron pinged right away. Gen not the greatest Baron damage, but they're just using it to bait the fight instead. Kayan is going to be the first one targeted here. Going down crucially low. Vel is going to pick that one. Nightmare flashing over, but the Rift Walk is there ready to follow. Nightmare getting down to crucial HP. Caitlyn channeling, in the middle of the lane, but is just going to get smashed down by this cast. And now here comes the proper Baron turn after that fight.
So right now, you have to look at it. Shurima is really needed to kind of sculpt a lot of these team fights. And with him going down, you can't really protect a lot of your flanks here. So this is just going to be quite brutal for the side of SKO, unable to really contest this Baron. But now they're going to be looking for a possible play on J-Bear on the bot side.
Yeah, Nightmare doing the best to trade across the map is going to pick up J-Bear here. Unlimited Ninja looks like they will be able to survive as well. So Nightmare going on a rampage here, quite ahead on this jungle Amumu, but this Baron can be a difficult hold. Fortunately, Azir, Caitlyn, these are champions with some pretty solid wave clear, so we'll have to see how much value comes out for Conquering Sands' Baron, but still a great pickup after a few moments where it looked like SKO were solidly in control of the game.
So for this game so far, we've seen a lot of this game just go back and forth, and a lot of these team fights here. I think you need the Ornn in some of these fights, because when you had that last successful fight, you had the Ornn there. He was able to get the R2 off, and it was able to hit up 2 champions, despite him being in the middle of Cataclysm. I don't know if you can really have him in the side lane matching, but then if you are having a match, who do you even throw down there to match him?
Yeah, the Scion is definitely a really big thorn in the side of SKO, especially with that Hull Breaker. Left unchecked, so much pushing power, but Ornn, as you mentioned, due to the results of Avius's earlier ganks, just unable to match quite as effectively as you would want. So now it's going to be the Baron pressure coming through. Vel pushing in the top lane, 3 core members pushing mid, Scion here in bot. We'll see how well SKO is able to find the hold here. Nightmare looking for an engage, doesn't quite find it off of the Shurelias coming through from Northman.
So right now, I think the next objective to really take note of is going to be this dragon. This is a potential soul for the side of SKO. They've gotten all the other dragons fairly uncontested. They've really just lined up a lot of the timers with when... sorry, there's going to be a fight here.
Yeah, Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to be met with a nice cleanse from Hey Roger and a turn straight back onto Nightmare. A shutdown onto that Amumu and a big Cataclysm. The final shot of the curtain call is going to be good. Going to find it onto Jinx. Shiburai going to be teleporting to the mid lane to try and assist their team. But is this one Azir going to hold off the rest of the team here? Unlimited Ninja on the flank to try and help as well. But there's Avius on the sidelines. Vel on the sidelines, ready to potentially make a dive play here on the mid lane. Looks like there's going to be a brief pause in the action. Just going to let J-Bear have his way with the bottom lane here. Vel is going to start walking over to assist SKO. Kane getting hit by the knockup, and look at that Rift Walk damage, absolutely evaporating the Ashe there. Ornn is going to come in now to try and hold, but can he do it in a 1v2? No, he's just going to have to start walking away from these 2 solo lane carries that Conquering Sands have put forth. Nightmare, Jinx, finally here to reinforce, but Rift Walk is going to keep them safe from the first bandage toss. Now a nice trap is going to at least trade back J-Bear, so is going to be down for this dragon fight. A lot of gold going over to Conquering Sands now, but dragon in just 10 seconds, and it's going to be another 4v4 here this time with Azir dying.
I think it will be important to kind of screen for a lot of the vision on the bot side of the map. Otherwise, Cyan could just TP on down there and just eat any buildings down there. It does not really matter whether it's just inhib or possibly Nexus towers.
Yeah, but at this moment, everyone's eyes are going to be on the dragon. Both teams collapsing. Conquering Sands ready this time. SK Nightmare is going to invest the Curse of the Sad Mummy early on, but their damage is just not able to follow up just yet. Hey Roger going unstoppable on this gen, going to take out the jungler and probably any hope of a secure Jinx, maybe looking for a poach over Peacemaker over the wall to find it, but no, the dragon is just too healthy here. Smite is going to come out good for Avius. It's going to be first dragon picked up for Conquering Sands. Soul denied. Vel is there on the chase, looking to Rift walk down the carries. But no, now it's Unlimited Ninja in everyone's eyes. The route from the Karma is going to be good. Hey, Roger, looking to put in a bit more damage. Scion Train 2-2 straight down the mid lane. Unlimited Ninja is going to go down to that 4th shot. And now it's the mid lane tower in their eyes. Another engage, potentially over onto Jinx. A nice stopwatch going to save him from the Shurima shuffle. But Caitlyn loves stopwatch. Traps just straight down, going to shut down AVS. Their mid tower under danger, but at least one traded back.
So right now, Shibari and Jinx are going to be in a little bit of trouble. Jayber is around, and he's going to be able to just be that nice tanky front line, and you can kind of put a lot of damage into him. He's just got a massive chunk of health here. And right now, Vel is just going into the bot side and just smacking that inhib. Might be caught out by Nightmare. Ooh, almost had prediction there.
Yeah, the bandage tosses are not going to land. This is the push and pull Conquering Sands is using here, attracting people onto the bot lane and then turning mid, turning top. 2 ultimates extended to try and catch this Casting, but so slippery at this point in the game. Very close to level 16 Riftwalk already on quite a short cooldown. It's going to be the top inhibitor tower falling for Vel's distractions.
So now we have level 14 on Ornn. He's going to be able to give out his first ornament of the game. He's going to be giving that over to Shibari. Shibari getting a lot of this AoE damage. Let's hope that's going to be enough to kind of push back some of this loss here.
Yeah, this Leandry system certainly have to do a lot of work to hold back the members of Conquering Sands. The base for SKO definitely starting to see its cracks off of a series of great plays. The carries here scaling up, Jim with 6 kills, Caston with 6 kills, Sion having the advantage all game, already on his 3rd item and some change here. So still going to be that terrible presence in the side lane that he's been able to do all game.
Right now, we have Baron coming up, and this is going to really, I think, be the deciding factor of this game. You have a 7k gold lead on the side of SCG, and if SCG is able to pick this up, I think they could just kind of walk at them. I mean, we look at last time they had a Baron buff. They won the 3v3 in the mid lane, and they had TPs come in, and then that resulted in some other kills on SKO, and they almost had a complete ace there. So this could just spell a game over for SKO if they are not careful.
Yeah, 2 open inhibitors, just 1 inhib tower left. Hawkshot is going to spot the majority of the members of Conquering Sands there, so ambush not likely to happen. Jayber here happy to stand in the mid lane, just take whatever punishment SKO is willing to throw at him, not so much as flinching from all of this Azir damage, giving us a bit of a dance here in the mid lane, showing just how tanky this Juggernaut has become, helping his team shove in through, potentially setting up either the mid push or the Baron play.
Right now, I think an important thing to note, just got to give props to Eric Northman. Look at this vision. That is on par with Ashe, who has Umbral Glaive. So he's done just honestly a bang-up job of just keeping up with him. And we have Vel on the bot side just shoving that in, uncontested. He's going to be slowly now contested, but now this is going to be a Baron where it's only Nightmare kind of looking at it, trying to see if he can get a possible steal.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a Hail Mary steal. That's the only opportunity. AVS trying to distract Nightmare on the side here, trying to get some damage down onto this Mummy. The bandage toss is going to land in, but the Baron is still relatively healthy. Certainly going to get focused by all the members, but a nice Crystal Arrow and a great Baron steal from Nightmare. The reinforcements are in Vel, godlike here, but is going to go down. 1,000 gold shutdown. Now the aggression is turning onto Eric Northman. This could be the big turn they were waiting for. For so long, Conquering Sands was in control there, having the members pulled all over the map. Vel there pushing in the bot lane, Sion driving 2 in the mid lane, the rest of the members taking Baron, but such a slow Baron take there with Jin gave Amumu time to play for the steal, gave Shibari time to come in for the reinforcement for the play there. Some crucial shutdowns and the Baron pickup could be the hope that SKO needs to turn this game around.
And right now, we have kind of some long death timers on the side of SCG, and we have this Dragon coming up here. And they could set up a possible vision line. Well, Ashe just got back up, and she's going to be probably throwing out some of these hawk shots, trying to get back in over there. And this could be a potential soul, and really turn this around from a 7k gold deficit. Now it's going to be only a 4k gold deficit. So definitely strong play from them there. They're going to be having Baron buff, so it's going to help augment some of their stats.
Yeah, all 10 members alive and on the map this time around. SKO might be rewarded for their dragon pickups earlier with this soul point. Nightmare had one Baron steal. Can the dragon be found as well? Jaybird this time acting as the wall. He was not there in the previous fight. Amumu going to engage straight onto this Scion. All the resources invested in taking down this tank right away. Shiburai getting very low. That one Heartsteel Titanic Hydra proc almost taking him down. But there is Vel. There is Avius jumping onto the carries. Jinx trapped in the Cataclysm does finally manage to flash out. Now it's Avius in their eyes. Another re-engage. EQ Jinx down to 1 HP is going to take down Avius into the GA. This is phase 2 of the fight. It's going to continue. Killing spree now for the Caitlyn. The Jarvan is going to fall down. Dragons still in their sights. There are minions hammering down towards the base towers. Unlimited Ninja is going to go back to try and hold it. Hey Roger still hoping to play a bit of distraction here. Eric Northman on the side as well, getting King rooted. But the 3 members, the 2 seems hard to fight. But there's the curtain call. Nightmare walking 1, 2, 3, and Crystal Arrow is going to be good on to Hey Roger. Now, Nightmare without gap closers anymore is going to be traded King by Northman. Jinx is going to ace in the whole point blank range straight onto the Jhin and pick up the Dragon Soul. But here comes Jaybear is going to take down the main carry, this Caitlyn. So now it's Shiburai and Nightmare against this Ornn. It looks like the Azir's damage is good, or the Scion is going to go down. So Soul and the fight going over to SKO, holding in a little bit longer. Base is open, but the Soul is theirs.
Wow, what an absolute turnaround! Just and able to just pick up that dragon by the skin of their teeth, and now they're going to be possibly looking at just one more team fight, and SKO could then run right down to the mid lane, down through the mid lane, and take the game. Really, you have Azir who has a lot of that AP damage, and hey, towers don't have magic resistance, so he's going to be really chunking into those. And also, you have Jinx and Kayn, just ironically, Caitlyn and Ashe, and they're going to be able to do a lot of AD damage onto these towers. But you still have to watch out for this Scion. Scion does not have TP here, but he could be going into some of these side lanes here, and Jaybear could crunch through these towers like nobody's business.
Yeah, Scion crucially here, not finding many resistances available, does have health stacked out the wazoo, over 7,000 HP here, but with only Mercury Treads and a Chain Vest for resistances, we saw how fast he melted in that crucial fight. The members of SKO able to pick him off so early in that previous fight, dumping all their resources but getting rewarded for it. And the rest of the fight was just so close. Avius Vel diving into the backline, trying and very nearly getting the Caitlyn, but Jinx was able to survive and turn the rear half of the fight. So in these late game scenarios, all of these individual mistakes have such large impact on how the team fight is going to turn out.
Also, important thing to note, we're almost to the point of we have all the ornaments passed out. Right now, Ashe is going to be getting her Imperial Mandate upgraded shortly. But right now, you have the Typhoon, you have the Leandries, you have Jack Show, you have the Righteous Virtue, and the Radiant Virtue is going to be upgraded, and that's going to be a Jhin grab here in the mid lane.
Yeah, another great enchanted crystal arrow is going to pick up the karma, and at this point 40 plus second death timers, it's going to mean a lot of pressure. It is going to be 4 members of SKO barreling down this mid lane, the solo laners of Conquering Sands trying to trade back this Kassadin, this Scion trying to find these inhibitors, but can 2 hold against 4? Karma still 23 seconds away from spawning. It's going to be coming down to just a base race here. The first Nexus tower going down, the second one going down as well. This Ornn is not going to hold. These Nexus towers for Conquering Sands are still good. The Nexus down, just 1 hit, 2 hits away, and the Conquering Sands are going to win off the back of their solo laners, split pushing bottom lane, top lane, ignore the 4 stack, and just take down the Nexus.
Wow. Wouldn't ending to that game. Absolutely amazing. That is incredible to see. Wow. I was not expecting that end of that game for it to really just come down to a base race. I personally don't get to see that often, so that was just really nice to see that entire time.
Yeah, definitely a creative angle. I mean, we saw towards the end of the game there, SKO were finding some of those team fights, especially the one at Dragon, so was able to turn it around and find all the members of Conquering Sands. But Conquering Sands knew their solo laners were strong, despite even the karma getting picked off right away. It was too long of a trip for the members of SKO to make it straight to the Nexus. And Val and Jaybear, they didn't need to be reminded twice to go straight for the base there. So was able to pick up the win for their team, a 1-0 lead over to Conquering Sands Gaming early on. get the lead from a deficit, but ultimately it was Conquering Sands' top side of the map that was able to find the advantage. SKO finding some nice early advantage on their bot side, but eventually solo laners coming in for a clutch backdoor to close out the game.
So we're already going to be seeing some different bans this game, and we're going to be getting rid of the Caitlyn on the side of SCG. We don't want that first prio pick going onto her, so we're going to be kind of already forcing out a different composition from the side of SKO.
Yeah, the Caitlyn Ashe was able to do a lot of work in that previous game. The Ashe not only able to bully out the lane, but also to find repeated crystal arrows. So we'll see if that pick might come out again, or whether they'll opt for a different support now this long range ADC is taken out. We do also see a ban adjustment on the side of SKO here. Xayah going to be denied as an AD carry option.
So right now we also, and last time we had an Irelia ban coming through, just because Shiburai, that's kind of one of their bigger, more played champions. I'm wondering if that's also going to be coming out again. No, they're going to be putting it over to the Sejuani. So right now, Maokai's going to be instant snap picked. I was going to say, he right now has still an incredible win rate, and AP junglers are really kind of the flavor of the year so far. So not even a surprise with the Maokai instant snap pick.
Yeah, Maokai is such a popular B1 at all levels of play currently. A lot of zoning control with his saplings, able to take advantage of setting up for objectives early on, and just a great utility ultimate, easy ganks with that twisted advance. But now this time it's going to be Conquering Sands picking up Ashe, presumably probably still in support. We'll see if they are going to leave it as a flex for the ADC as well.
So another thing to note about Maokai is even when he kind of starts to fall off a little bit in the late game, you can still throw a lot of those sapper lanes down at very far away into the brush and kind of get that vision kind of check. So he still has a lot of utility just with his CC, but also just the vision kind of checking. But we're going to be getting a return pick with the Udyr, and Udyr is going to be kind of and helping with more of this kind of, and with him being from the Freljord, just getting a lot of slows and stuns out along with Ashe. So CSG already has a lot of CC coming out from them.
Yeah, Conqueror Sands actually having banned the Udyr in that previous game, so are going to be picking it up this game instead. We'll have to see what this morphing shapeshifter is able to do. No pick currently for SKO, but the chat says that it will be Morgana chosen as the option. So a bit of a counter for this Ashe if they are able to be fast enough with the reactions. That Black Shield is going to keep people safe from that Crystal Arrow.
So right now, and honestly, I think Morgana is a fairly decent pickup. And definitely, if you're going to be picking a Jinx, kind of being able to throw that Black Shield onto her, because then Udyr can't run her down. And as you said before, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is unable to get the stun off on her. So it also would possibly allow her to not have to just automatically take cleanse. You can then possibly still go heal and get out of some of these dicey situations.
Yeah, Jinx Morg, one of those classic ADC support combos from back in the day as well. When you land a binding and chain it into traps, the enemy is just held in place for such a long time. But it looks like instead it is going to be Ashe flexed over to the AD role. Ashe Braum going to be coming out as the bottom lane choice here. Ashe does have a bit of range and ability to run down Jinx if given the opportunity. With Braum, perhaps slightly awkward into the Morg as that Braum stun is going to be a bit difficult to proc, but potentially just pressuring this Morg to be able to pick and choose. Are you going to shield the arrow or are you going to shield the Braum CC instead?
So right now, SCG really heavily favoring this Freljord, and I think they're kind of like a Lissandra Volibear pick away from just a full Freljord comp. But I highly doubt that coming out from them. But right now, we're going to be getting rid of a lot of these scaling kind of these scaling mid laners, and AP is going to be going down. Obviously, that Irelia is going to be picked up in the second round of bans, but SCG is going to be having to kind of expose what their mid lane or their top lane is, but they're going to be having the final counter pick of the match.
Yeah, still not going to let Aurelia go over to the hands of Shiburai. The Azir 2 actually doing a lot of work in that last game. The most damage in the game going to be denied as well. Caston and Victor, we saw Vel do a lot of work on the Caston in that previous game and also denying that safe scaling pick. But Syndra now going to be the pickup, was banned away in that previous game. So no TFT Freljord combo coming out here, but still a strong mid lane pick nonetheless.
Ooh, Corky. I haven't seen the Battle City Gunner in a while. Actually, no, Battle City Gunner's Tristana. I misspoke. But is still from Battle City. But there's going to be a quirky response in the mid lane. I haven't seen him in a hot minute. Oh, am I going to get a special treat today? I love GP. If I'm going to be seeing that, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Just all my excitement just quickly cut down. You hate to see it. You hate to see it.
Still have a few seconds left to hover, so could go back to the pirate here. But with the last few seconds ticking down, we're going to see what that final pick is going to be. Just a blind Scion here in the top lane. We saw it be very effective in the previous game, being a strong side laner and a strong front liner. And we'll see what the response is going to be.
So right now, I think they definitely do have the Braum Udyr to kind of be their front line, so you could help out with a bit more damage. Yeah, Aatrox can be a lot of disengage or engage. So I think Aatrox is definitely a very good pickup here and is absolute nightmare for Scion, being unable to charge up his Q whatsoever.
Yeah, it was a bit of the premier top lane pick during back in the Worlds meta, has had a few small changes since then. Is going to be a little bit stonewalled by this beefy tank boy here, but can still definitely get a lot of work done in the game. So both teams' compositions coming out, a lot of pick potential and lockdown on the side of SKO, but such is true as well for the side of CSG. So much CC available for both sides, a lot of team fighting power as well. So we'll see what happens when these two teams clash.
All right, we're going to be. Oh no. Sorry, we're experiencing a few technical difficulties. I am going to be right back and I will be fixing that. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back from those technical difficulties, and we are now going to be kind of seeing some of these draft options without it being blocked on the screen.
Yeah, it's great to actually see these champion picks come through. This time around, we'll see SKO's jungler maybe getting a bit more of this earlier agency, Maokai having a bit easier time getting these ganks off than the Udyr here as we start off.
Shall I turn in my badge and rifle as well?
So right now, I'm kind of excited to see kind of how this top lane will go. I'm sorry, I forgot the top laner's name. Ninja, that's it. Will Ninja be able to kind of stand the onslaught coming out from J-Bear?
Yeah, usually as games get on longer, Aatrox sometimes has a little bit of trouble pushing these big mega tanks out of lane, but if Sion is able to hold his ground early on, could provide a bit of trouble there for the Aatrox. And looking to the mid lane there, Central Corki, both of these champions are ones that will want to scale as well, but Central does have a bit more of ability to set up some plays for their team, whereas Corki is going to be a little more reliant on waiting until that package pickup, waiting until some of that poke and harass comes out, but it's certainly not a champion that we've seen in a little while.
Absolutely not. I wish I could see more Corky. He's got amazing voice lines. I love just hearing him just coming through and just kind of all his shenanigans that he really brings to the game. And he absolutely just has a great poke with that R. So I would be I'm kind of excited to see him. We don't get to see it often.
Yeah, champion is absolutely a vibe, but maybe a bit less vibey if you're getting blasted by those rockets. And if we look down towards the bottom lane, Ash Braum into Jinx Morg, I mainly see Morg more as a counter to Braum just because so much of Braum's power is tied up with that stun, and Morg is able to deny that. But once we hit level 6, things could very well change. Ash and Braum able to target two different champions with their respective ultimate abilities can make life a little bit more difficult for these bot laners. And we saw the power of the Enchanted Crystal Arrow in that previous game. What kind of build Ash opts to go this game as well? If they look to go more of a attack speed option, or if they might opt for something more utility with the poke and the mandate support.
So if they kind of really go for the poke option, I think Braum, although being melee, will be able to in some ways weather the storm because he has the highest base health regen out of any champion in the game. I think the only other person close to him would be the Vi, but Braum's able to just kind of take a lot of abuse in the early game, and it has a lot of just kind of really good base stats with a lot of his abilities. His Q poke is nothing to really balk at. Obviously, you kind of need to dodge the Morgana Q bind, or otherwise you are going to be locked down forever, and maybe you're still stunned by the time you have grandkids. But I think that the CC coming out of the bot lane is not going to be as effective as you would want it to be, just with the black shield really throwing a wrench into things. But now we're going to be kind of getting ready for the spectator delay coming into game 2, and we are going to be going to commercial. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be getting into game 2 of SKO versus Conquering Sands Gaming. And we're going to be keeping the same sides here. So SKO is going to be on the blue side and SCG is going to be on the red side.
Yeah, Concrete Sands coming off of a great game one, but a hard fought one at that. SKO certainly giving them a run for their money. Mostly a standard 5 point just coming out here at the beginning of the game, but we do see Hey Roger and Eric Northman sneaking into this bottom bush, potentially looking for opening level 1 advantage.
Kind of looking for something sneaky here. This Freljord and duo is definitely being a little bit maniacal here if they're able to get this at either Jinx or Morgana here.
Yeah, if that first Braum Q is going to be able to land, it could spell very bad news for the SKO bot lane. We do also see here both junglers opting to start topside pathing bot, going to give that ward over to Val, allow them to hit level 2 1 minion earlier, but that is going to give SKO the info they need to get to the jungle
Uh-oh.
pathing, but already that stun
Kane's going to be in
coming out
trouble.
onto Kane. Flash expended, a nice root and a heal coming through. Last tick of the ignite is not going to be enough, and it's going to be Hey Roger going down low in exchange. Just one auto away from taking down Kane, but both of Kane's summoner spells expended in exchange for the flash from Hey Roger and ignite from Eric Northman. Oh, Braum Q getting Kane again down to just 1 HP there, but still going to barely hang on.
Right now, Jinx trying to throw in this damage with the jawbones, but and SKO Kane's just really wanting to stay in this lane, doesn't want to leave, definitely wants to be around for the levels, and might be waiting it out to possibly get some biscuits here.
Yeah,
But now
Ashram
there's going to
hitting
be a
level
2 spike.
Yeah, hitting level 2, the Dark Binding is going to be good, so it's going to ward off any further aggression there. But CS still very even, but this Morgana is certainly in a bit of a scary spot as the lane is getting started.
So right now, and kind of just looking at this game, Udyr is going to be pathing to bot side. Maokai is going to be pathing to bot side. I think we're going to be seeing just kind of these two people. I think I would give the edge to the Udyr getting down to there faster. But
Yeah,
that's going to be a possibly really good counter engage by the Maokai. But we'll have to see this action coming up.
Yeah, with all these flashes expended early on the bot lane, it does make them prime targets for ganking. I mean, top lane, not necessarily a matchup where you see one person going to go down super early. Mid lane, both happy to just get there and farm up. But bot lane certainly can
Ooh.
swing. We see both of these junglers finishing their 6th camp, might look to path bot right after. It looks like Udyr is going to instead just going to contest for this scuttle early on. No flash on this Ashe, no summoners on this Morgana, potential targets for any 3v3 that come about.
So right now they know the vision is in that Tribush, and now they're going to try to see if Maokai can get up into the lane brush. They're going to be trying to shove this in to see if they can get a potential lane gank. But right
Yeah,
now, it's not looking like it's going to be possibly panning out here.
Ash Braum still keeping this lane fairly forward here. They have the Tribush ward protecting them. Kane getting dangerously low, but
Ooh.
there's the Dark Binding. Hey Roger is going to step onto the traps, and the Flash Twisted Advance is going to get first blood over for Nightmare. The patience pays off. The gank is rewarded. 1-0 on the scoreboard for SKO.
It's right there. Udyr effectively traded a scuttle for his bot lane dying right there, so definitely not worth it from the side of them. Now they're going to be able to get a free shove in, but Unlimited looking kind of quite low here on the top side. That's going to be a lot of missed XP for Helger here.
Yeah, just a nice set of traps coming out from Jinx on their namesake champion. They're hidden right amongst the minion lines. Hey Roger, in an attempt to get away from the gank, stepped right onto it, and it was a certain death from that point forward.
Ooh. Bell's just absolutely putting the work on to Shurima here, and Corki is going to be kind of slow but surely getting into this game, but he is definitely not looking in a good spot. This footwork going to kind of help him re-heal some of this stuff, but Bell was able to get this back with the TP.
Yeah, Twisting Advance is going to dodge the Scatter the Weak, going to give Shiburai a bit more breathing room here in this lane. Kane here ready to reinforce as well, looking for the Dark Binding. Bell is trying to dodge. It does get traded for the Flash, actually, so burning off the mid laner Summoner in exchange for one quick roam. It's going to be very worth it. Wave is already pushing in towards Jinx, so Jinx isn't even going to lose much here in this bot lane.
So right now, and I think that Jinx absolutely will scale harder into this game. So her getting some of these extra levels is going to be quite important for the side of SKO. But now we have Dragon up. We have Shelly going to be coming up here also shortly. We're going to be starting to see some of these fights, kind of some of these skirmishes in the top side, trying to get rid of some of this vision.
Yeah, we saw in these early lanes, it was Conquering Sands getting the lane advantage kind of all across the maps, but with SKO Nightmare roaming and with a nice move from Kane as well, it would have turned that situation right around. Another Dark Binding really well done onto the Jinx there, going to get comboed into the traps. Hey Roger going to be 1.5 autos away from dying. Jinx is going to be able to get the pickup onto Hey Roger there, starting to get that acceleration going on the hyper carry. Kane with a great bind to set up the lane for success.
It's right there, and just kind of, hey, Roger, kind of like coming out from behind that shield and is going to be taking a lot of the extra damage. Obviously, Fishbones has AoE damage, but that does get blocked by the shield, but got some of those extra autos off on him, and that just netted that kill there for Jinx. But
Yeah,
now, they're shoving it up this bot lane, and hey, Roger is definitely looking at going to be losing some of these levels here. Jinx now at 5 versus him being at 4.
yeah, absolutely. Losing just about 2 waves in between the first gank and that death right there. It's going to be missing a fair amount of EXP and farm as a result. It's Ash in a bit of a tough situation. So we'll see if they are able to find some trade back as the game continues to progress.
So I think an interesting thing to see here now, since you have kind of a lead in the bot lane, your mids are quite even. You could possibly look for a dragon angle here from the side of SKO. Nightmare might be trying to push up some of that vision line, but Brahms already kind of jumped the gun here and going to be getting this vision down.
Yeah, both supports on a bit of a roam across the map. Morgana securing some vision on the top side. Braum linking up with the mid laner, getting a bit of a push in, potentially looking to turn for some kind of objective. But K has actually made it all the way over to the top lane. The charge is available from the Scion, but is not going to get expended. Jaybear just going to be able to successfully back off there, potentially worried about the Aatrox turning the situation around in a 1v2. I mean, it's absolutely been doing great work in this top lane for their team, getting the advantage onto a limited ninja early on.
Uh-oh, Nightmare is going to be walking around by that blue buff, and you have Northman and Avius looking for him right there. But he's going to be throwing the Sapperlane over. He's going to be kind of spawning them out there. So now you have
Sweeper.
Kane here as well. This could be a good old brawl.
Yeah, Sweeper does give the vision early on, but Avius does have the buff kited. Smite is available, does take it away. So a successful steal here. 3 members into this top jungle invade is going to pick up the buff successfully. A nice smash in from Scion to trade in some damage back onto Jaybear. But now it's going to be the team looking up towards the Herald, getting this early pickup. Both supports still elsewhere on the map, leaving the ADCs down here to just be in a 1v1. But Jinx with the early advantage here, nice 15 AD over Hey Rogers, going to have a free time picking up farm in the bot lane.
So right now you have Syndra kind of shadowing that top side to really play for this Rift Herald here. And now I think they're going to be trying to rotate this down to Dragon. Syndra's now going to be kind of trying to look for it, but Jinx has his bot lane shoved. I think this could be a very easy Dragon angle for the side of SKO. But now Avius is kind of looking to go for a dive on the top side.
Yeah, and an Enchanted Crystal Arrow down on the bot side is going to get cleansed away by Jinx, and the rest of the members are there. Dive coming in on both sides of the map. The Nature's Grasp is good, and it's going to be an easy pickup for Nightmare. Does flash to get out, but it looks like dives were being looked at on both sides of the map. It seems like Eric Northman was a little bit hesitant to commit there while the wave was still alive, so Unlimited Ninja was at the very least able to clear away the wave and get the 1-for-1 trade onto Jaybear, whereas on the bot side, Hey Roger just left by their lonesome. The team was making the play on the top side of the map, tried to trade it back with the Crystal Arrow, but Cleanse is a saving grace for Jinx there. It was a 1-for-0 now on the bot side in favor of SKO, and now onto a 4-1 lead early on in the game.
So important thing to note about Sion's passive is that he is still technically considered alive, quote unquote, in order for him to get XP. So he's not going to be really kind of hitting an XP trough against the Aatrox here. He's going to be obviously dying to him, but then he's going to be getting some of that XP back from the kill. But now there's going to be SCG looking for this dragon, and Vel's going to be rotating down. You got this mid lane shoved, and I think this is going to be SCG's dragon here for free.
Yeah, SKO was able to get the setup on the Drakes on the previous game, but this time around it is Conquering Sands making their way over, getting that Mountain Drake first pick up here. So getting the soul win conditions started out on the timer, we saw that SKO had made that play in the bot lane, going back to the bot side once again, but not quite able to make it to the objective in time.
So right now, effectively, it has been the Jinx who has died. Obviously, besides the Aatrox trading that one at the 1-for-1 in the top side. Right
Yeah,
now we're getting
here's
into the action.
yeah, AVS engaging onto Jinx. The Black Shield has worn off. Flash in from Hey Roger to look for the finish, and AVS and Eric Northman are going to turn onto Kane instead now. But a great Dark Binding and a stopwatch is going to make sure that AVS
Oh,
falls. Kane there with a great play. Jinx does fall to Hey Roger, so getting some much needed gold back onto the Ashe there. But a nice outplay from the Morgana.
honestly, I think that was way too much of an overextension by them there. It's honestly very hard to kill because you're sacrificing one of your players there, and with Avius going to be taking that damage first, that's not going to be a good play for them.
Yeah, the Rome up Shibuya is going to pick up another one. Sion with a great unstoppable onslaught is going to just stop Jaybear in his tracks, trying to run away with the World Ender, but unable to do so. It's Corki getting a bit of start as well, picking up the Hex Drinker, so it's going to have an easier time in lane against the Syndra as well. And so far in this game, it's been SKO all the way.
So right now we have Demonic Embrace, and at Demonic Embrace on Nightmare. We have the Gale Force on Jinx. We have Mythics here at sub 12 minutes, so we're definitely looking really, really good on the side of SKO with just kind of putting our gold onto some of these and early just lead champions. And also now we have a Heartsteel onto Sion, so he's going to be starting to get big. But you do have the return Black Cleaver onto the Aatrox.
Yeah, we saw the value of the Heartsteel in that previous game, getting Sion to be such a beefy champion. And we'll see if the same rate of return is going to get accomplished in this second game here. It is a bit of time before the next few objectives come up, so it looks like both sides are just going to be playing for a bit of plating, a bit of poke, maybe see if there's something to be found in roams across the map, but a bit of quiet for just a moment.
Right now, it's honestly been amazing just to watch how much these supports have roamed across this map. We had them in the top side, I would say, for at least 5 to 6 minutes of this game already. So it's kind of it's honestly been a very fun dynamic to watch here today.
Yeah, and Braum finally starting to return back to this bottom lane as well. It is the EXP advantage going over to SKO as a bot lane as well. Hey Roger hitting 8 just a little bit later. Eric Northman still on level 6 here. Maokai is around, hanging around the spawn side, seeing if there's anything to be found, but looks like not going to be finding anything just much here. AVS hovering around this top side there, trying to find a bit more onto Unlimited Ninja, but look at that Heartsteel already paying dividends. So much damage coming out to Jaybear. But here's Avius to continue the gank. Unlimited Ninja now starting to get run down by the Glacial Storm there. A lot of damage coming out from Avius. Just needs one more Q. Jaybear is going to find it with that Q3. Aatrox is good for 1 there, picking up a return kill on this top side.
He's at least going to be able to go down swinging with some of these stacks, but that was really good pickup and awareness by Avius there, knowing when the Aatrox damage is going to be getting the pull.
Yeah, sets up the play for Nightmare, but the teleport from Vel is going to ward off any further aggression. The Black Shield was on there, so Enchanted Crystal Area went wide, but would not have found effect either way. AVS is going to trade away Nightmare's topside in response for that movement there. So overall advantage going to Conquering Sands over that series of plays.
So we now have Dragon that's going to be coming up here in about, I believe, a minute 30. And so I think you might have to start really looking towards your bot lane to really kind of return some of these objectives. Right now, SCG has kind of had a stranglehold on these so far, but it's still in the early portions of this game. We just had turret platings fall. So there's definitely a lot of time to kind of match them on some of these.
Yeah, a few mythics being picked up on the side of Conquering Sands as well. There's now 3 members of SKO coming up onto this top side to try and find maybe a bit more of a play. It is the Herald coming up in 10 seconds, so maybe that's the next point of contest. JB already getting a little low in this lane, has not had a chance to back yet, so sitting on just over 1,000 gold. AVS also taking a base timer here, so Herald is left open for the moment, but the teams seem to be investing their energies elsewhere. Maokai and Morgana both walking away towards this middle lane. Dragon in 15 seconds, so both objectives up on the map. Looks like Herald's going to be the first call.
kind of surprised that SKO really wants to go for this, Shelly, just because, as I mentioned in the last game, you do get diminishing value from the second Shelly. She's not as strong as the first, obviously, with the turret planes going down, but is able to possibly crack a mid lane tower here. But there's going to be Dragon going over to SCG. Corki sending the package over the wall, just trying to get some vision, but unable to find any damage with that.
Yeah, I would have thought with the Maokai ulti and the package too that they would have opted to fight for the team fight instead, but looks like no, they're just going to offer the trade of objectives. Is going to get the mid tower for it. Avius rooted down there a bit of spell immunity, but the twisting advance now going to go on towards Vel, force the flash away for safety. Avius and Vel both getting soloed there. Hey Roger with a nice enchanted crystal arrow to go on to Kayn, but the heal is going to keep them alive. Now Jaber teleporting in on the backside of the fight is going to look for the main group, but look at that dark binding. It is pixel perfect and is going to take down the Aatrox straight away. Jinx now with the Gale Force to finish off Hey Roger there, and that is going to be a big win over for SKO. Sure, you give away the Dragon, but you get the mid lane, you get the fight, you get the Herald, and that's a lot of pickups.
Just absolutely good and just turns on just throughout that entire fight. You obviously had a lot of just rotating movements. You had the mid lane going on, but then you had Nightmare on the side picking up Vel, forcing a flash away, but then Avius and all that getting low. But Kayn barely surviving with that heal. Just well played by the side of SKO. But now we're going to be getting a flash here from Northman, and he's unable to find the pickup on to Kayn.
Yeah, Flash Winter's Bite there, leaving Morgana on just a sliver of HP. That is a picture we've seen before.
Ooh.
In 2 instances, this Morgana just getting solo. Now it's going to be the outer towers being targeted by the SKO solo laners. Top lane in the sides of Sion, bottom lane in the sides of Corki here. A few more hits will take these down, but the solo laners are there to match. Keep these structures standing for just a moment.
Avius still coming after Ninja here. He's going to be dancing at him. Just trying to kind of go for some of these and Heartsteel procs, I would think.
Yeah, finds the angle to dodge the decimating smash, but there's the enchanted crystal arrow, nicely found from Hey Roger there with a great angle there. Unlimited Ninja taken down to passive, but is not going to find anything more. And that seems like it will be top tower traded back for Conquering Sands.
I don't know if that dance was worth it, really. I don't know if trying to go for that Heartsteel proc was really worth it there, Ninja. I think maybe you want to at least respect Avius a little bit. He absolutely gave you hell in the first game, but second game, giving a lot of disrespect to him.
Yeah, I was hoping to find the big silent Q there to delay any further damage from Avius, but Udyr had the presence of mind, did walk around, and now it's going to be both teams here in the middle lane. Jinx taking a bit of a tower shot early on, but the rest of the members are just going to disengage for now as SKO King barely missing the bind onto Northman. Now is going to be the target. Avius looking to burn them down with the Udyr ultimate. A nice scare of the week from Syndra is going to find the stun. The stopwatch is not going to mean anything there. Kill does go over to Syndra. Another dark binding is going to mean very little here. Now it's going to be 4 members against 3 here in this middle lane. The Corki Rockets are flying around, offering a bit of poke against any potential further team fighting. The bottom tower was taken down as well by Shiburai there. And super mega death rocket was going to catch Eric Northman on the base there. The enchanted crystal arrow is going to be sent back in response, but Jinx is able to dodge that. Avius goes straight into the traps, and here comes Sion. Does not manage to find the ultimate, and Shiburai is going to get taken down by a bit of a Syndra combo there. Sion with the decimating smash is going to prevent anything further. So a nice 1-for-0 pickup. Eric Northman going down to that Jinx R.
I saw Sion come chugging through, and I was hoping just in kind of a sadistic way, I guess, if you look at it, but I was just hoping he would just come in from the sideline and just lay that damage into him, but barely missing by the skin of his teeth. Good dash out from the Aatrox there.
Was able to sidestep just in the nick of time, but this Sion is already starting to get pretty big. These Heartsteel procs are doing healthy, sizable chunks of damage, and JBR here waiting on the sidelines, waiting maybe for Northman to link down for some support. For now, it is just going to be the 1v1 from these top laners, but now even TP coming in. We do know Unstoppable Onslaught was used earlier, so not an available tool to escape here. Now in a 4v1, Ninja is going to be going down for sure. Dragon in 40 seconds, so Ninja presumably might be able to get back in time, does have TP available, and that was some amount of resources expended as well. So we see if there is a response from the side of SKO. Kane looking on the sidelines, maybe looking for a Dark Mighty, but a nice Scatter of the Weak is going to find it. Vel just absolutely smashes that Morgana out of the game with the Unleashed Power, unleashing death upon the support of SKO. And now it's going to be Conquering Sands with all the control here around the Dragon Pick. Enchanted Crystal Arrow looking for the continuation of the fight. A stun onto Maokai, a flash away from the Braum ultimate. It's the Aatrox ultimate burn too, so very low on ultis are Conquering Sands. And here comes the responding teleport from Sion. Is going to be looking for the fight here. This is a fight for Soul Point. Here comes the unstoppable onslaught. Is not going to find any members straight away, but the fight is split. The Corki package goes onto Rao and J-Bear. The Super Mega Death Rocket does find Val, and J-Bear is going to go down to the burn. On the bottom side is going to be Avius trying to find back a little bit of damage onto Ninja, but this Ion is too tanky. With that Corki play, it does mean the first dragon is going to go over to SKO. Soul Point denied, and now Baron in their sights.
Honestly, I thought that play was going to be a little bit doomed with Kane earlier on taking the balls to the face, but Ninja being able to come in with the unstoppable onslaught really kind of pushed off a lot of the CC coming out from the SCG side, and that package was beautiful coming in. But now we're going to be having SCG trying to see if they can get over it fast enough to stop this Baron. They have the resistances going down with Baron kind of ticking through. We have a TP coming in from Aatrox. Are they going to be able to pick up? Yes, they will.
Yeah, Baron getting really low and does get swined away, but the team fight has started. Nightmare is going to be in their sights. Unlimited Ninja trying to beat down onto Eric Northman, but the stun is good. Nightmare trying to find an escape, but is stuck there in the pit, going to get traded back. Kane there on 1 HP is going to go down to the volley from Ashe. So the Baron is secured, but 3 members going down already. Super Mega Death Rocket is not going to find their target. Saburai maybe is going to be the next focus in the middle lane. Jinx is going to be targeted by J-Bear, and Enchanted Crystal Arrow is good, but Cleanse is better, is able to escape that, and now Shiburai with the Rocket's going to trade back some more poke. Just 1 HP left, but does get the flash, but the Rocket misses. Eric Northman there trying to protect his top laner. These skill shots just barely not landing, and it does mean that this Aatrox and Braum are going to survive. This mid lane tower now going to get traded back. 3 members down and 1 tower in exchange for Baron.
Wow. Throughout that latter portion of that fight, no one died. Just that was amazing dodges by everyone there. Obviously, J-Berry trying to overextend, get some of these kills here, putting all the damage in. The Shiburai and Jinx being able to get away from that, and then J-Bear also being able to get away from Shiburai's rebuttal. Well played by both of them there.
Yeah, so close on these small margins. But it is a lot of survival tools used by both sides to keep themselves alive. And now it is going to be the Baron push coming out from SKO. There's a lot of members have lost the buff, but there are 2 remaining on their team. Unlimited Ninja is finally being able to take down that top turret on 1 HP for so long. But so far, it seems like Conquering Sands have been able to keep the waves at bay. The Dark Binding is good onto Val there. And now there's the Maokai and Sion Pain Train. It is going to be a kill traded back onto Kane there with the Unleashed Power, and J-Bear is going to try and find Shiburai there on the bottom side, going straight after this Corki. Just 1 more auto is going to be enough. Does find the shutdown there, so 1 for 2 traded back. It is just Jinx now with the Baron left on the team. 3 members trying to push onto this top lane. Are they going to hold or counter push in response? Looks like it is going to be 3 members collapsing onto this top side. Nightmare and Ninja have a long way to run to escape. The Sion ultimate not available. The Maokai ultimate not available either. Avia's ghosting in, trying to get the fight started. Does start to go on to Nightmare. The decimating smash is going to be wide. Hey, Roger starting to get these slows going out as well. Nightmare certain to fall. And now there is Ninja next in their sights, and a 4v1 going to go down as well. No objectives available on the map, but a double kill onto Ashe is always welcome.
So right now, Unlimited just going to be trying to go down swinging, trying to get as many Heartsteel stacks as he can. He's up to 451. He's getting healthier, but right now they can kind of just whittle him down with the Ashe slows, and they can just kind of abuse him, really. And this Noxian Terror is going to be kind of turned into a little bit of a puppy here in this sense.
Yeah, the Sion Maokai, not the most mobile of champions, as Jinx does get a nifty little blue buff steal away from Avius there. So should Asp be able to space successfully, it is going to be good looks on the side of Conquering Sands. Syndra also available to keep these champions at bay with the Scatter of the Weak, finding some great pickups in the last few fights. Now, in 1 minute, it is going to be Soul Point coming up once again for the members of Conquering Sands, and that's where I imagine both teams are going to be trying to set up for. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes across, is good, does find the Morgana there, and Kane just taken down by the CC chain. One member down, 43 seconds left to go for Baron. Conquering Sands taking space in this bottom jungle.
So far, Kane has been picked out in a lot of these different fights, whether it's taking just kind of the balls to the face or at least the arrow. And he's just been spending a lot of time on the gray screen, unable to really put up this vision that's really needed by SKO. And they might have to give up this Hextech Drake, which they really don't want to. Hextech is so strong here. Just giving out good stats passively, but then also, if you get to that soul, that has like the highest win rate after getting the soul. I believe it's around 93.1% if you do pick up that soul. So this is maybe something that they really, really have to push for and try to win the team fight for. You do have the the Jinx that has 3 items now. So she's definitely hit a power spike. You have the package coming in from the Corki. You have the different big team fight elements, and now you have the TP coming in from Sion.
Yeah, both teams bringing their full force to bear here. The Super Mega Death Rocket going out very early, so not going to find any value out of that one. Enchanted Crystal Arrow is back up after that previous pick. Hey Roger waiting patiently on the sidelines. J-Bear here looking for a potential flank, and is going to get spotted by a ward. So J-Bear is going to get turned back on. Dark Binding missing by just inches there. Would have probably spelled death for that Aatrox, but does live for the moment being. World Ender is burned there. A nice scatter of the week onto 2 members. Nightmare is going to get very, very low, but a package is even better. Hey Roger burning down on critical HP. One more rocket is going to find them. The carries still staying alive there. Kane going to keep Nightmare standing for just a moment. ABS getting down. Jinx splashing rockets onto the rest of the team, but is going to turn back around by Val. It is going to be Corki on 1 HP on the sidelines, trying to offer what poke he can, but now it is a 4v2, just Northman and Vel available left for the Conquering Sands team there. Again, in this Dragon fight, it is Corki's package finding these crucial carries. We saw it at the last Dragon, we saw it again at this one, with another TP coming in. This is sure to be SKO's Drake.
Honestly, absolutely amazing turnaround. A lot of these fights, as you mentioned, these packages absolutely brutal. Really separating the front line from this back line. Just very good placement by Shiburai. Honestly, we saw that in game 1 with the Shurima shuffle. Now we're seeing that with the package. He's really just doing a good job of disjointing these fights.
Yeah, we see why Corki was such a priority pick back when he was in meta, just able to bring so much value for these objectives. The package timer lining up so well with the Drake timer, finding these carries. In the first Dragon fight, it was the team split by the Sion ultimate, and then finding the package onto those 2 carries. In this team fight, it was finding it onto Hey Roger and one other member, again taking that Ashe out of the fight, taking that DPS out of being able to hit these frontliners. Eric Northman, targeted a little bit by the members, is able to run away successfully, contesting Scuttle here, contesting some Baron control.
Also, I'd like to apologize. Before, I thought it was going to be Hextech Drag. That was going to be the that was going to be what it was going for Soul, but it's going to be Chemtech. I misspoke. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. But that's still going to help turn around some of these fights. We had a lot of them where... Ooh, sorry. We're getting into fights.
Yeah, another Dark Binding into Jinx Trap combo, but a Flash is going to keep Eric Northman alive. The Nature Scraps used for disengage there. Vel finding a great stun onto Kane. Unlimited Ninja is going to tank the Crystal Arrow for Kane there, but now this Sion is going to be targeted down by 5 members. Does manage to stay alive for just a little bit longer. Unleash power still available on the Syndra. Some one-shot potential still possible. Corki with the rockets on the sideline looking for some poke, not quite finding another Dark Binding onto J-Bear, but looks like he's going to disengage successfully. Now it's going to be 4 members potentially turning onto Baron. Avius burning it down solo here. The rest of the members running around trying to see if they can find anything. Scatter the Weak is going to barely miss there. J-Bear is there on the sidelines ready to go onto Kane and Jinx, but he is there in a 1v3. The rest of the members had run away, and there is the Sion crash. Choo. It is time to get the fight started. Avius trying to look on the backside, but it is instead just Northman falling down. Kane going to a critical HP. Val taking the blast plant, but it's going to be followed by Nightmare's twisting advance there. Just one more ability is going to take down that Syndra and is going down. Now it is Avius and Hey Roger carrying the hopes of Conquering Sands here against the 3 members of SKO still alive. Baron still on the map, but it looks like both sides are going to disengage for now.
Right now, you have a lot of these big damage components outside of Hey Roger kind of down and off the map. For the side of SEG, you have Corky who's able to kind of poke him out, and right now the Ash Volley is not going to be able to return this, so they kind of have to concede some ground, concede some possible vision here, and I think there's going to be another just brawl for Baron. But now we're going to be getting a little bit more farm, maybe a little bit more items. We're possibly going to be seeing a third item here out of Ash if she gets back off, and it looks like she's potentially going to be going for PD if I had to guess here at the Zeal. Oh, actually, no, Runins. I misspoke.
Yeah, either Hurricane or PD both on the table here available. And we saw maybe just a bit of disjointedness in the previous fight from Conquering Sands. J-Bear was there on the flank, undetected, ready to go into 3 members. But Braum and Avius just backed off at the last second, left it in a bit of a 1v3. Morgana's Dark Binding was good, and so the kill was not quite turned around in time. It bought SKO just a bit of time they needed to get the team fight advantage. Vel there also so much pressure on this Syndra's shoulders. A few crucial scatter the weeks going wide. We saw in previous fights how much damage it can do, what the pick potential meant if that ability was to land. But in that previous one, just not quite missing by a few inches every time. It did give SKO the advantage. Still very close game though, just a 2k gold difference between these two teams. Anyone still able to take this?
Right now, looking at this game, I think an unsung hero is Eric Northman. Right now, he has 86 vision as Braum. And honestly, you can kind of get some of this vision controlled in a much safer manner with some of these ranged picks. Let's just say Morgana, for example. And Eric is able to just beat her out on that. So he's doing a very good job on his supporting side of things. But now we also have Dragon that's up in a minute. So it's going to be interesting to see what objective they really want to fight for. Do they want to coin flip a Baron, or do they want to kind of fight over this soul point here on the bot side of the map?
And it's a SKO with most of the vision on the top side, but hold that thought as another Dark Binding goes on to Vel. They're just going to be such an easy pickup. The Nature's Grasp looking for the continuation there. Eric Northman nicely dodging away, and now with the Braum ultimate going back onto Kane, but the knockup not going to come through, just barely missing there. So it is a free pickup on this crucial carry. 35 seconds left on the Syndra, and just 8 seconds left until the Drake spawns. It looks like SKO does want to look up towards Baronson, but there is J-Bear catching out Shiburai, and maybe a bit of a surprise there. Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to catch him just at the end of the package. Shiburai flashes away, but Ash does get the shutdown, and now J-Bear and Unlimited Ninja are going to be fighting each other. Super Mega Death Rocket just there for a bit of chip damage. King here does not have the flash available, so the trade is going to get over to J-Bear. The Baron is taken down for SKO, but the fight is going over to Conquering Sands, and that is going to be Dragon Soul Point picked up as a result of that fight. Baron on 3 members of SKO, 1 more than was previous. We'll see if they are able to get anything more done with the push this time around.
So right now, I think honestly getting some of these Chemtech drags onto the side of SCG and CSG is going to be quite strong. You have 3 tanky / bruiser members, but right now Ninja's going to be diving in after Helger, and then he's going to be picked up by Jinx. Jinx is going to be running down Eric Northman, getting the slows onto him. He's in trouble.
Yeah, get excited is going to mean that the chase is on, but a blast cone is available. That might just be enough to save it. These mutated blast cones giving so much range. So the Braum is able to get out, but the Ash is traded in exchange for the mid tower. Super Mega Death Rocket goes out, is not able to find its target. Braum is going to base here. 27 seconds on Ash. Looks like the push is going to be towards the mid lane. Avius now in their sights, taking so much damage from these rockets, but is able to just run away for the moment. Ooh, they're so speedy here. Now watch Val and J-Bear, the solo laners, going to try and hold this mid lane tower. Will they be successful? First scatter of the week goes wide. Watch the Dark Mining. No, it's just Twisted Advance getting the fight started. Val flashing forward to try and find the finish onto Jinx. Does get the shutdown. Syndra with the aggressive play gets the payoff, but it is the tower going down. Enchanted Crystal Arrow going straight down the mid lane is going to find it onto Kane. The knockup is going to go onto J-Bear instead, and that Heartsteel proc is going to knock down the Aatrox Nightmare on just 1 HP there, but the rest of the members are standing steady. Shiburai here with the rockets ready to go, ready to poke, but is going to be satisfied with what they got. 1 inhibitor tower down, the base starting to open up.
Right there, Vel just honestly making the hard choice of, you know what, you're gonna go to hell with me, and just flashing in and just committing the R onto Jinx there. And so, just honestly, I think a very good pickup. You have a lot of damage coming from K and SKO through that Jinx. She's the hyper carry here. And with her going down early on in that fight, that's going to really kind of cut down of their overall damage. But
Yep.
now we're going to be kind of looking into just pushing out some of these side lanes, getting ready for these next upcoming objectives. And I believe that Dragon's going to be slightly spawning in before that Baron, but they're going to be up around the same time periods.
Yeah, that Syndra there was able to trade back, and Jinx going down in that previous fight was so crucial for the success there, made the continuation of the fight very difficult, dying even through the Black Shield, and that is the power of the evolved Syndra ulti here, having collected the full Transcendent stacks with the AP percentage bonus as well. A bit of time before the rest of the objectives come up on the map. Looks like it's just going to be a play for the blue buff. SKO looking in control of the game for the moment, does own a good portion of the map, does have most of the outers and inners down as well. A bit of vision traded for the top side are the members of Conquering Sands, looking for a bit more control as both teams jostle for positioning.
So right now, as we look at kind of both carries from both teams, you have the Corki having 4 completed items, has the component for the fifth, and you have the 4 items on a Syndra, has the component for the fifth. So they're quite equally tied. Only the 40 farm difference, a little bit of a few kills here, but Syndra's died a lot more than Corki has. But then for Jinx, she just drank the elixir of Wraith, and she has 4 items versus the Ashes 3. So it's going to be a little bit of a advantage for the side of SKO.
Actually, is sitting on about 2,000 gold here, so is starting to approach that fourth item, but does need it for the fight to be successful. The members of SKO looking for the spot lane push. Baron has worn off now, but they are going to try and just brute force it. Dark Binding barely missing on the side. 4 members pushing on this tower, just 2 holding on the other side. Jinx traps go down. Enchanted Crystal Arrow hits just a limited ninja there, so Sion happy to tank that one up for his team. Both sides going to walk away for a moment. Tower on crucially low HP, but does stand. Inhibitor taking some damage as well, but still alive.
So right now, able to shove in both the mid lane and the bot lane kind of really allows for them to just kind of get some of this early advantage. Obviously, they can spot out some of these people with the Hawkeye. However, it's going to be they're going to be getting a lot of backs off here. But that's going to be quite tough for the side of SCG to really kind of trade back into this without the vision.
Yeah, and with Dragon coming up for 15, this is setting up for another big fight. Corki having picked up the package from the base, Eric Northman needing to go home really quickly to get some HP, get that reset before they're able to approach the objective. So this will give Maokai some time to set up, tossing in these saplings for the bushes, getting some poke available for the team. The Demonic Embrace the Leandries, this will burn a lot of HP from the side of Conquering Sands were they to approach Vel, tanking one of those saplings, 2 of those saplings, and look at the health from Syndra already starting to go down, burning Zonius, but there's no hope of escape here. That is one of the carries going down, but it is the Maokai going down in response. The package is going to take down Hey Roger, and J-Bear is feeling the pressure as well. GA is going to bring Shiburai back, and now it's J-Bear in a 1v2 on the top side, trying to flash and find the trade on Shiburai, but Shiburai's response flash is good. Unlimited Ninja providing enough CC to probably take down this Aatrox. Jinx is looking to find it, does get the pickup with one final rocket, and now it is just Udyr and Braum left on the map. These Maokai saplings killed the Syndra, and the continuation of the fight killed the last 2 carries. Looks like they want to take the Dragon off the map before going for any kind of game-ending push. Respawn timers are still a little bit short here, but now it's going to be soul point for both teams.
So right now, Avius definitely just could not even go for a sneak there. He doesn't even have Ghost. He did have the mutated Blast Cone, but he's unable to really run in there, and that's just going to be a free Dragon pickup at the end of this. But now they're pinging over for this Dragon. They're saying that, hey, they're getting the backs off. Let's try to get some of this vision. Let's get going, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, you only have teammates who are just now respawning, so SKO is also going to be kind of running up towards this Baron.
Yeah, Baron in the sight of both teams. That previous fight, the Maokai saplings and the Corki package, again doing work for the side of SKO. And every time SKO has actually come to contest one of these dragons, it has been them finding the victory. So we'll see if it is them finding the victory again in this last objective and pushing us to a game 3. They're set up in the area already. Saplings are out. A bit of vision checking on all sides here Baron not quite started up, looking to just get some more poke on the rest of the members for now. This Corki, this Maokai are going to make any approach really difficult, but a Scatter the Weak going on to Shiburai isn't enough. Yes, it is. The unleashed power finding the Corki there. Nature's Grasp to try and disengage. Sion coming in from the side, but the ultimate does not connect. Another Scatter the Weak is going to find it onto Kane. Vel is going to find the necessary abilities for the team fight. Now, Hey Roger is finding the Sion, flashing forward onto Jinx, gets the stun with the Braum passive, and that is 3 members down, 4 members down, and they are going to turn on to Baron for now. Death timers are 40 seconds, 50 seconds. They're not looking for the end there. Vel was trying to find a little bit more damage onto Nightmare, but Nightmare gets the flash over, does burn the stopwatch, and stopwatch in response, but surely Nightmare is going to fall here. Does find the ace. Baron taken down, all 5 members down. They're looking for the final push. Was this the turnaround?
I think this was. I think this might potentially be a game here. You have a little bit too long on some of these death timers. Obviously, if you get Jinx up, you can get a lot of the AoE wave clear with, and she does not have runes, but you at least have fish bones here. But right now, they're melting through these towers. You have Avius just with the Q upgrade, crushing through this Yaoger, also doing a lot of damage here. This looks like it might be potentially
up
it.
Here. Sion's up in 8. The Scatter of the Weak is going to miss, as is the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but they are just absolutely melting these towers, going onto the Nexus, ignoring the champions. Corki cannot do enough damage, and all of a sudden, it is Conquering Sands taking the game right under SKO's noses, off the back of those Scatter of the Weaks. The Syndra carrying that last team fight, leading Conquering Sands to a 2-0 victory.
Wow, what an amazing end to this set. Just SCG and CSG just really finding these windows here to just go for these last second finishes right before all of SKO is going to be coming back up. They're able to just kind of clutch these victories. So well played by them. So looking at both these people, who do you say is the MVP for both sides?
Oh man, I mean, in that final game, I have to give it to Vel. Sure, there were a few shaky moments there in the mid game where they got caught out. Kane doing some great work there with the dark bindings to find some picks for their team. But in that last team fight, that crucial team fight, after SKO found win after win after win on the Dragon, when it looked like it was their game to win, it was Vel with 2 picks right there to secure the victory. So I have to give it to them. And on the opposing side, I think it's a toss-up for me. Shiburai definitely did a lot of great work there around the dragons, winning several of the dragon fights almost single-handedly for the team with the package play. So potentially that would be my candidate.
I think I would have to agree that Shiburai really just in both of these games really kind of warped the fights when he was there and able to use the ultimates effectively. Obviously, package is not ultimate, that's passive, but when he was able to effectively use that, he put in a lot of damage and a lot of work in a lot of those fights, and they did win the majority of those dragon fights. And Vel for like game 1 was able to get over a lot of these just able to get over the walls with Cassidy, really able to find some of these pickups. And obviously in this game, just putting the damage down and getting just honestly numerous picks onto Kane, like right out of the gate, and taking that dark binding and that just black shield off the table right out of the gate.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. These players did have their impact, but a very close fought series. The score came out with a 2-0, but that was not what these games felt like. It was back and forth, and there were really many opportunities for both teams. So well played here. Some great high-level League of Legends. It was a privilege to watch, and I hope to see both of these teams in playoffs, and maybe I'll get to cast again at that time.